Alright, so today's power was Sports Master. This one comes from if you've seen Young Justice, there is a villain in that show called Sports Master, and that's where this kind of comes from, right? Just being like very inept at a large amount of sports. Um, I was gonna go with a more generic pose here, but I ended up wanting to challenge myself a little bit more. I wanted to kind of push to have a little bit, I don't know, I guess a little bit stronger of a pose, and so we ended up with I would say a fairly dynamic shot by the end of it. Um, this was pretty fun to draw. Originally I was thinking of using more basketball for this power, like kind of showing like that kind of athleticism, or like show him like throwing a discus through like some robot or something. But I think that this one, I think because I was playing tennis earlier today, I think it really inspired me. If you're wondering, I did win. Easy 6-2 victory. Um, so I know that y'all are very concerned about my tennis record, but yeah, because I don't know, I played a bunch of sports in high school. And so I like a lot of sports. And so, I think it's always nice to have that kind of influence show up here. And so yeah, I went with this very dynamic pose. I think the coloring kind of does it some injustice, but I think it was the anatomy was easily a strong suit here. In terms of like I guess more how I think this power would go, I'm thinking of somebody I'm thinking this is much more of an all-rounder kind of thing, right? Like, I am thinking of him, he's fighting some robot and he starts out the fight by like chucking a javelin or two, right? And he goes and like, uses it to like have mastery over like being like some Olympic sprinter or whatever, so they can run really fast into the battle, and then he can be, very, athletic while fighting, right? And then you can, use like a mastery of boxing to like, beat up the bad guys, right? So like I'm thinking of, using like field equipment, like those scenes in like zombie movies where they're like stuck in a high school and they have to like use that stuff to survive. That's definitely where I'm getting that kind of an influence. And I think it's super fun. Um, Originally I wanted to go with more of like a ball form for the tennis ball, like an object, but I realized that having it feel stretched, right, like it's really coming into impact, I think that has a much better effect um on the drawing. Yeah, but I was there is an ability that this one's going to go very hand in hand with. There is going to be a very fun moment in the series that obviously all these powers are going into. The other ability is called posterized, right? And the way in that one, of course, I'll elaborate more in the video where I actually draw it. But you can see how the ability to like posterize somebody would go very handedly with these kind of abilities. Um, I do kind of wish I had changed the background of this picture. I think it generally I kind of wish I had shown it more of like in combat rather than in this very mundane setting. Because I feel like this doesn't really give it the justice that it could have done, and I think it definitely led to some problems with emphasis later in the drawing, which just kind of notes in terms of the actual framing of the picture. Because again, I really like this pose, but it's hard to it's hard to make it look better, if that makes sense. It's hard to make it like really feel like it has some oomph to it. But again, I think the anatomy is on point. I think it was a very good use of perspective and all that. I think it's, in terms of that, I think that was a very solid aspect of it. Even though the hand anatomy is a little off on the hand that's actually grabbing the racket. Mostly because, like, if you actually think about how you'd be grabbing a racket there, it's very weird. It's a very odd position for your hands to be in. Um, but yeah, I what's funny is I very much love tennis. I think tennis is a super fun game to play, but I never played it in high school. Like I would play it casually, right? Because here's the thing, I don't respect pickleball enough as like a sport for that to be like the casual thing of like, oh, it's Saturday, time to go play pickleball. Uh-huh. No, no. Play tennis, right? I think pickleball is like I put like in terms of like old white people sports, I think tennis is like the creme de la creme. Like that's like as good as it gets for old white people sports. And then under tennis, you have pickleball, right? I think it's humiliating and degrading, and I think nobody should ever play it. But there's only one sport below it, and that is golf. Golf is the stupidest sport in the world. There's way too much wasted land that could be used for actual real shit that golf takes up. I think it's so fucking stupid. I hate golf. I hate golf so much. I think it's so dumb, right? Because my issue is like with tennis, even if you're bad at tennis, right? Like even if you're bad at like hitting it and like you don't know how to put spin on the balls, like you're like an average Joe Schmo, right? First of all, you buy what a racket and a set of balls. It's like maybe $50, right? You like even just to buy two so you can play with a friend, right? Very cheap to get into. Set of golf rackets, right, or a set of golf clubs. It's what fucking $400, right? And so it's like this is the stupidest goddamn like the so fucking stupid, right? And all of that just for a sport that it's so fucking boring that the only way to make it at all playable is to be like overindulging in alcohol. And that's my problem with it. Right? The only reason why old people like that fucking sport is because it's not an actual sport. It is just a drinking activity. It's the same reason as why somebody would like go on a river and just like go tubing, right? Where you just like sit in a tube for like 3 fucking hours and float down a river. It's like this is just an excuse to drink. This is so fucking lame, and drinking is super fucking lame. So do you see this is ah it annoys me. It annoys me to no end. Right? Try to be an alcoholic and play tennis. It is a fundamentally impossible thing because tennis is a real fucking sport. Right? Pickleball, that's my problem with it. I think you could very easily play pickleball efficiently while not being at 100% like sobriety, right? I think it's still better because, like it's not quite at that golf level where you can be fully inebriated and still have a good time, right? Also, another problem is like with tennis, right? With tennis, football, basketball, any of these things, like you hit the weight room, you go out and try to play the game, you're going to be significantly better, right? Because you actually have to be like strong. With golf, it's just like, dude, if you don't like have the technique down, it's like it's just like this waste of everybody's time, right? Because it's just like I can't even hit it hard, right? Because that's not the hard part, right? And so it's just so bad. It's just so bad, right? So again, whenever in my later machinations, whenever I'm a bajillionaire, because of this YouTube channel, I want you all to know that all business meetings will be done over a tennis match. Um, if anybody ever wants to network with me while playing a golf game, I'm gonna fucking kill them. I'll kill them and I'll hide the fucking corpse. All right. I'm just saying I'm never gonna respect a golf player. There's not a golf player I do respect. All right. All of them are horrible people. And yeah, no, I think it's just an excuse. Also, I think a bunch of people that play golf, right, when like they're in their 20s, have like this, my stupid bitch wife kind of attitude, and I don't like that, and that is something I do not like. All right, well, to get back to drawing, sorry, that was just a tirade about how much I dislike dislike golf, but yeah, no, this was fun to draw. Again, the sky and the background kind of I don't think I was able to add enough emphasis to the actual point of action. And I think I could have done that by having the little like lines coming down be a little more definite. But I think it's again, I think it's still fine. I think it had a lot of potential that I didn't fully realize, which is kind of annoying. But regardless, thank y'all for watching. Any notes or anything in the comments, please leave them down there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I should be having something out on Monday. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So yeah.